A wonderful day to you all and welcome to the Complete Sports Update. This is the show where the latest and trending stories in the world of sports are brought to you. My name is Habib Kuranga. Joining me on today's episode is Adeboye Amusu. Together we shall be taking through the rounds as far as sporting stories in today's episode is concerned. And welcome to the show, Boye. And how are you doing today?
I'm good. A rainy day in Lagos and probably other part of the country. But it's good to be back on the show once again.
Absolutely. It's always good to be back on the Complete Sports Update. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are set for the final lap of their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Right here on Complete Sports Update, we shall assess Coach Eric Chelle's squad list ahead of the two cruncher clashes against the Crocodiles of Lesotho and the Cheetahs of Benin Republic. So once more, welcome back to the show,
Thank you.
Boy. So the Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes, the final two games is almost upon us. First against Lesotho in right there in their country, while the second game against Benin Republic right here in Nigeria at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium. And well, with our fates no longer in our hands, which we have to rely on other results to go in our way and others. So now with the squad list out, with some little bit of problem here and there as regards to the
Injuries.
injuries in the right back position and all of that, as well as the midfield not having enough firepower in quotes. So what say you about the squad list released by Eric Chelle ahead of the two encounters against Lesotho and Benin Republic?
Well, I would like to start by saying that it has been a difficult time for Eric Chelle putting up this list together for the final two games in the qualifying series for the 2026 World Cup. Line up pick up an injury during the last international break. That was in the game against South Africa.
Yeah.
And he had surgery a few days after the encounter. Osai Samuel, who has also been his deputy, talking about the right back position, is also not available for the game. So you have probably a depleted defense, because when you look at your two right backs not available for the game, is a minus for the team. My issue is the guy that was called up as a replacement for Bright Osai Samuel, who is also a left back. That's talking about Saidu Sanusi, who is one of the regulars in the team before his injury troubles at his club in Porto.
Yeah.
So when you look at the team, there is no original right back in the team. You have you have Bruno Yemeshi, you have Kevin Bassi, you have Saidu Sanusi, who I mentioned a while ago, who can play as a left back. But the only guy in the team who can probably deputize for Lionel and the injured Bright Osai Samuel is Benjamin Frederick. So I don't think it's a good one. As at the moment, you also have Velisagu injured and is already been ruled out of the game.
Yeah.
So we don't know if there's going to be a replacement for him. So that's the difference. Coming to the midfield, Fisao Dele Bashiru is out of the game. Rafael Oyindeka is out of the game. You have only four midfielders invited by Eric Chelle. That's talking about Alex Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, Onyeka, Frank Onyeka, and Alassane Yusuf, who is coming back to the team after he was omitted from the last two games against South Africa and Rwanda. So I think it's a difficult one for me there, because there's no balance in the squad. When you have only four midfielders and having nine strikers and wingers in the team, I think Eric Chelle should have done better in that aspect.
Absolutely, Coach Eric Chelle, just like what Adeboye said, that he should have done better in his selection right there. So, talking about the two matches that will be played, first against the Crocodiles, and you would definitely want to stick out that the Super Eagles of Nigeria should be nicking all points right there. But the game which should actually prove difficult for them will be the one against Ghana Trolls, Benin Republic, because currently they are top of the log with goals difference ahead of South Africa right there. So, and now if they should play and win their game, I think they would definitely be looking at the Super Eagles game as a must win for them to have that ticket for the World Cup. So, what say you about the encounter? Do you think, in a case if Nigeria should win the game as well as the Benin Republic also winning their game, I think against Zimbabwe, if I'm not wrong,
Rwanda.
Rwanda,
Yeah.
actually. Thank you very much. So, is it going to be more like a war, so to say, as regards to that particular encounter, considering the fact that there is also South Africa, although they've been docked 3 points because of fielding of ineligible player and all of that. So, do you think it's going to be more like a war in that encounter? So, what are your expectations in both encounters as far as the two games for the Super Eagles is concerned?
Well, I think the Group B, our group, that's talking about Group C,
Yeah.
is going to be the remaining two games. It's going to be difficult for all the contenders. We have Benin Republic, who are topping the group at the moment on goal difference. They are on 14 points. You have South Africa on 14 points. You have the Super Eagles, who are on 11, and Rwanda, who are on 11.2.
Yes.
So all the four teams still have a chance of making it through to the World Cup. So for the Super Eagles, like you said, it's not in their hands again because of the past results.
Yeah.
One can only be hopeful that they'll be able to win the remaining two games, which they should be able to do. Talking about the game against Lesotho, they are condemned to beat the Crocodiles. That will give them probably an opportunity to say, okay, let's go into the final game against Rwanda with a little bit of hope. South Africa, they have the edge because the remaining two games will be played in their country.
Yeah.
They are match away against Zimbabwe this weekend. It's going to be playing in South Africa. And Rwanda have an edge too because they will be home to Benin Republic this weekend. You expect them to go all out for a win. So for the Super Eagles too, they have to gather the 6 points against Lesotho and Rwanda to have any chance of picking the ticket. At least, like they say in football, never say never. You fight in the end. So let's see what will happen. Mathematically, they still have a chance, even though it's not in their hands again because of all other things in the group.
Yeah.
South Africa, they have the edge, like I said earlier, playing the remaining two games in their country. They are facing Zimbabwe on Friday. Zimbabwe are already out of contention. So you can expect them to go all out because to me it's an home game for them. So for the Super Eagles, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see what will happen at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the squad now. He named the coach Eric Chelle actually named that 23-man squad. Do you think these considering the balance of the team and all of that, do you think this the squad is actually good enough to go all the way to defeat Lesotho and Benin Republic?
Sure, the squad is good enough. One can only pray that they avoid injuries in camp because, like I said earlier in my argument, I don't think the squad is balanced enough. And if you look at some players who have been doing well at their respective club side recently, you talk about someone like Paulo Noashu, who has scored 7 goals for his club. You look at Kelechi Iheanacho, who has really done well for Celtic this season. I felt 2 of them should have been in the team instead of the likes of Olakunle Olusegun, Terence Murphy, and Akko Adams, who has picked up lately at Sevilla. So I think the squad is enough to at least pick maximum points against Lesotho and Benin Republic.
Absolutely. Those are the words of Adeboye Amusan, and we do hope that the Super Eagles of Nigeria will definitely pick the maximum points in these two encounters. And, just was also hope that the other matches also go in their favor and, probably pick that vital and crucial ticket to North America come 2026. So thank you very much, Boy, for the wonderful and insightful analysis as always on Complete Sports Update. Our viewers, this is where we're wrapping things up. As far as proceedings in today's episode is concerned, do take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.